Hi, everybody. Welcome to week four's first discussion question, which talks about, I guess, in essence, really the overarching concept of strategic management and how companies have some overarching strategy to achieve their business goals. I think one of the more challenging aspects of strategic management, at least as how I define it, is and we'll talk probably more about this in coming weeks, is organizational culture and structure. A lot of companies, I've worked for companies where strategic initiatives, strategic planning, be it risk strategy or whatever strategy they use, primarily involve people at the top of the organization sitting around and coming up with a business strategy. And that is a very typical American business model, which is totally top-down, hierarchical in nature. And we've looked at that a lot so far in some of the readings we've done in the book. Other organizations have a much more involved, almost circular. In Japanese business models, if you read people like Nanaka, Taguchi, and people like that, will tell you that a more circular and even bottom-up approach sometimes is more strategically effective. Sometimes upper management, even though they have probably greater access to information, greater access to what they perceive to be the overarching policy and objective goals of the organization, I mean, you probably see this in your own organization, like where I sit in my company here. I think sometimes people at the lower end of the power pyramid here may, in fact, have a greater understanding of really what the problems are within the organization and what some of the key strategic issues are within the organization, despite the fact that they have less access to power within the organization. And some organizations are very open to information suggestions coming from bottom-up structures, and some are not. And maybe one of the things when we talk about like strategic objectives, like how inclusive a company do you want to be in regards to allowing people within the organization to have access to making suggestions, and how open is it? Because one of the challenges to people at the top, if you are open to suggestions from the bottom of the organization up, it does to some people, not all, but it does imply to some people that maybe you don't know as much, and you probably don't. But that's a tough thing for managers to assume, that they really don't know as much, and they need to be more open to people within the organization. So perhaps that's something that we can talk about as well this week.